Hello, hi, my name is Richard. I'm going to check on the concept of ICT, that is the definition of terms, that is Module 1, ICT Module 1. For those who are doing NEC, that is Kenya National Examination Council. So this is the place to be. So let us check on the concept of the ICT, that is the definition of some terms. We'll begin by defining some terms. So let's check the terms we are going to define. So definition of term, which are the terms we are going to define? So we are going to look what is a computer, what is data, hardware, software, information communication technology, and information system. So let's begin and see what will define sometimes. So what is a computer? If you're told to define a computer, or you may be asked what is a computer? So a computer is an electronic device that accepts data input and processes the data to produce information, stores the data or stores the information for future use. So what is a computer? It is an electronic device that accepts data input and processes the data to produce information and stores the information for the computer use. So if you ask what is a computer, you just define it as an electronic device. So you know that everything that is electrical, even the phones are electronic devices. They accept data input. The data input is what you input on the computer. They get processed and they produces information, and the information is also stored in the computer. So as we continue, we'll begin with a computer, why use computer, applications of a computer, and we'll check what is data to be able to understand more. So let's check what is data. As we have defined, a computer as an electronic device that accepts data input. So it accepts the data input. What is data now? So let's check. Data are raw facts and figures that has not been processed. So the fact and figures that has not been processed. For example, let's check. And has no meaning. They have no meaning. For example, e.g., E, B, C, D, E, F, G, K, Y, Z have no meaning. When a person writes to you, or when you input something like A and D and A, it will have no meaning. But when processed, has meaning. For example, when you add B plus A plus G, it becomes a bag, meaning these B, A, and G are just data, but when processed, they become information, that is bag. That's why we have defined a computer as data that has been processed. So the data are these figures or the fact that has not been processed. They are in low form and has not, but when processed, they produce information. So let's check what is now a hardware. We'll come to check what is information, as when data gets processed, it becomes information. So, but first, let's check what is a hardware. So a hardware refers to the physical, tangible computer equipment and devices which provide support for major functions such as input, processing, that is internal storage, computation and control, output, secondary storage, for data and for programs and communication. So a hardware, these are tangible devices. These are physical devices that you can see and touch. For example, in a computer, the physical devices such as mouse, the physical devices such as the monitor, the CPU, these are physical devices that you can see, you can touch. So that's what we call the hardware. In everything that if you are told to define a hardware or what is a hardware in information communication technology, so these are physical devices that you can see and touch. So let's check what is a software. What is software? You may be asked to define the following terms. As a beginner in studying information communication technology, you may be defined, or an NEC exam may come to define the following terms. So what is a software? A software is a detailed step-by-step sequence of instructions known as program which guide computer hardware. So the software are sequence of instruction known as program which guide computer hardware. So as you input data in the computer through use of hardware, they get processed. This process, this sequence of instruction, this program, as they are getting processed in a sequence manner, this processing is what we call the software. It is a detailed step-by-step sequence of instruction which guide computer hardware. So they are a set of instructions that tell the computer what to do. As you input data into the computer, so they tell the computer what to do. So you are adding B to A, you are adding A and G to produce a bag. So those are the software. So we defined computer, we have defined data, we have defined the hardware, we have defined the software. So what is now information? So through that process, where you see you input data in a computer, the data get through the instruction through the software, so they produces information. What is information now? It's a data that has been processed, organized, and presented into a meaningful manner that is understandable to its users. So what is information? Is data. Data, as we have defined data as raw facts and figures that has not been processed. Now when the data get processed, they are organized and presented into a meaningful manner that is understandable to its users. So when you get data inputted into the computer, it gets processed, it gets organized through the sequence of instruction, that is software, and then it is presented into a meaningful manner. So when you input B, you input A through the computer keyboard, you input G to produce a bag, or BOY to produce a boy. So when you see the answer boy, that is understandable to its users. So that's what now we call information. So let's check what is now a complete definition of information communication technology. What is ICT? So let's check what is ICT. It refers to all communication technologies, including the internet, wireless network, cell phones, computers, software, middleware, video conferencing, social networking, and other media applications and surfaces. So they refer all to communication technologies, including the internet, wireless network, cell phones. So all these technologies are what we call information communication technology. So what is now information system? What is information system? What is information system? You need to define. Now you have defined information communication technology, but we have information system. So it's a combination of hardware, software. We have defined what is a hardware, we have seen what is a software, what is personnel, data, and procedures that interact to support and improve day-to-day operation in an organization. So information system deals with the organization. As we continue with module 1, as we continue to module 2, we'll check on information system into more detail. So that is the definition of terms. Thank you for watching. Remember to share, remember to subscribe if you like the video. So the next video I'll be looking on there. Now as we have defined the terms, we'll begin with checking the computer. We look each and every category of ICT into detail. So we begin with computer. We look the uses of computer, application of computers. We'll check the parts of the computers, the monitors, the part of the. So why use computer, advantages of using computers, disadvantages of using computers. So the next, we look at the computer history and generation before we check on the computer into detailed manner. So we look at this quite brief history on the generation of computers from the first generation till now. So thank you for watching.